Well, if you've been following my Russian press reviews here, you will have noticed the growing criticism of the Trump administration in the Russian papers. That trend continues with this article in today's Moskovsky Komsomolets, entitled "Why Trump Doesn't Know What to Do." There are situations when the only thing that's clear is that nothing is clear. The peace process in Ukraine, or the dragging out of this process, is a case in point. And the main figure to whom nothing is clear is the man with the plan who once promised to end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours, Donald Trump. The new US administration is breaking the most elementary laws and principles of management. It's trying to do everything at the same time, without prioritising, without thinking through fully its ideas. Trump's actions on Ukraine have no immunity from this administrative insanity. Trump's foreign policy team, which is dealing among other things with Ukraine, is displaying for now both administrative inexperience and administrative immaturity. The case of the accidental adding of a hostile journalist to a secret chat, which damaged the reputation of such a key member of the US president's entourage as his national security chief, this is no exception, no accident. It's a sign of major structural problems. And some of these problems can be listed: bragging, arrogance, the desire to announce huge breakthroughs when the first steps have barely been taken, the inability or unwillingness to appreciate the depth and the scale of the problem, and believing that because I've said it, it magically means I've done it. However, none of this means that Moscow is giving up on America, on trying to influence President Trump. As dysfunctional as it is now, Trump's America holds the key to resolving the Ukraine crisis and most of the other international crises. The journalist recommends probing together with Trump to find a compromise that suits Moscow. The headline in Komsomolskaya Pravda: Trump swinging from threats to the desire to make peace with Russia. On Ukraine talks, Donald's mood changes as often as the wind. One minute he's angry, the next he's pleased. Trump's unbalanced nature is well known, but his current emotional swings, where he switched from saying everything's going very well to suddenly threatening to punish everyone who doesn't follow through, is being stirred up specially. The president is coming under pressure at home and in Europe, where he's being accused of surrendering Ukraine. This editorial in today's Nezavisime Gazeta declares, gradually Donald Trump is starting to lose patience. The US president was counting on a quick deal, or at least that after each meeting with representatives of Moscow and Kiev, he could announce progress, real steps to normalization. It doesn't always work like this. On the subject of settling the Ukraine war, the paper claims that Donald Trump doesn't want to get pulled into this long term. There are other geopolitical and geoeconomic problems and challenges that interest him more. From that comes the promises of a quick peace deal, which Trump could hardly fulfill, if only because neither Moscow nor Kiev want a quick deal, but the best deal they can possibly get. After any peace agreement, Trump can report back to the voters and move on to something else, but Russians and Ukrainians, the elites of the two countries, will have to live each day with the reality established by any agreement. And in case the Trump administration thinks it can drive a wedge between Russia and China, Moscow is sending signals that's not going to happen. Several Russian papers today report that yesterday President Putin met the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. According to the Russian government paper Rossiyskaya Gazeta, the Russian leader emphasized he's looking forward to President Xi visiting Moscow for celebrations of the 80th anniversary of the Great Victory in World War II, but not only to take part in ceremonial events, but for a separate visit for detailed talks. Putin stressed that the Chinese leader would be the main guest.